Okay, I think we're live now. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. It's more YouTube. So yeah, it looks like it's working. Might be a bit funky. All right. Okay. Well, welcome to episode 30 of the Clutch Kick. I am your host EG, broadcasting from Japan, and on my left, right, which other this side, I don't know, is Craig.
A direction.
Recently back from Germany. So like I started, um, I'm broadcasting from Japan. We're over here with some other people from Australia for a drift trip at Ebisu Circuit. So most drifting people would probably know or heard about it. I'd hope they've heard about it. So that's what we're doing over here. Um, so yeah, I'm
And you
guessing.
sound like you have a cold.
Yes, I've had a cold since I arrived. I think it must be what's it called, karma. So I had the lucky opportunity of being upgraded to business class on the way over. So I had this really fancy seat, fancy food, and yeah, the seat sort of it folded flat onto the floor, which is really awesome. But then I landed, and the next day I woke up and I had like this really bad cold, and so I think I'm at the peak of how bad it is. So hopefully I should be getting better from now. But yeah,
Well,
uh,
hopefully you can shake it so you can go and shake your drift fang on the track.
yeah, I haven't actually had a chance to go driving yet.
Is your
So
car in one piece?
no. So I had
So you
issues.
can't drive anyway.
Yeah, so I had issues, which I knew about. It did drive out of the car park up into our pit area, and I was meant to make repairs on it fairly quickly, but because of the illness, I was very, very slow and I was sort of resting a lot, so I really haven't done much. And then I encountered some other issues, and
So you haven't got
uh,
Adam to fix all your issues?
he's actually been fixing the really bad stuff.
Yeah, of course he has. Fuck.
So
What a gem.
initially I
What a
came
gem.
over. I just had to take the turbo off to replace the exhaust studs. I think that's what's called. So on the back of the housing, I need to replace the studs on that. Took
The
it
ones
out.
that go to the manifold or the ones that go to the dump?
No, the ones that go to the dump. So I took those
Yeah.
out. Greg, you're freezing up again on
Yeah, I know.
camera.
I have
Uh,
great download speeds. I have shitty upload speeds.
yeah, okay. I think hopefully I think Jake's watching from the other room and he'll probably hopefully be taking a
Oh,
screenshot.
Jesus. I'm just going to keep my eyes fully open now because that's a pretty sexy face I got going on there.
Anyway, so I came over. I was meant to change just the exhaust studs on the turbo and try and replace the LCAs, or both LCAs on my car. But after inspecting the LCA and the front suspension, we thought the coilover bracket might be bent. So I tried to press that straight, and that didn't work. And I tried to what did I do? I put it in a vise, and I tried to lean on it with Rob and try and bend it straight. And it looks better, but I'm not too sure because I haven't driven it yet. The other thing, so yeah, with the turbo, took the turbo out. All the studs are broken. Apparently, it's a very difficult job to actually take broken studs out of that. Didn't have a spare 6-bolt exhaust housing, so
Yeah,
um, what Adam did was he welded the dump pipe to the back of the
directly to
housing.
the.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, he did.
So he's a really good welder. He did a good job. Put that back together, and then I stripped the thread in the block for the old feed line. So
That's
what?
fine. Just, just like JB World that shit in there.
No. So Probably most of you guys know it's really bad to have bits of metal in your oil. It could lead to problems with things being blocked, spun bearings, things like that. So,
Too much time with Adam. He's been too anal about it, isn't he?
no. So what happened was I was initially going to run a braided oil line, but I bought a kit that had the wrong fitting in it, so it didn't fit. Sorry, the braided oil line didn't fit, so I had to use the hard line again. Hard line, whatever the solid line's called. And so usually I have a lot of difficulty putting that in, and I must have like forced it in, and I've stripped the thread on the
Yeah, I
block
don't think
side.
they're hard to do.
Yeah, well, it's the
I
alloy
don't think
block.
that's
Yeah,
yeah, and a cast alloy block at that. So those threads, yeah,
yeah,
pretty.
not very strong. So anyway, that was
No,
stripped, and then I turned the car on. All just came spewing out, and so anyway, took it out. But luckily, apparently, this is very common for it to happen, and they had a helicoil kit, power vehicles, and then they've modified the drill bit so it's actually really short. So all that meant was I just had to take out all of the power steering bracket, the air conditioning bracket, because my car still has air conditioning, and um, move that out of the way so Adam can get a drill in there and put a helicoil kit through it. So you still had to drill into the block, but what we did was we removed, after we drilled it out, tapped it, put the helicoil in, we turned the engine on, and the oil, because there's an outlet for oil, it actually pushed the bits of metal out. Well, that's what the idea is. So you turn the engine on, and all the bits of metal come out, and it cleans itself, and then you put it back together. So, and that's as far as I've gotten. So I've only got as far as having the oil line put back on, and that's it. So the power steering bracket, and the power steering, and the air conditioning bracket, and the air conditioning need to go back in the car. The suspension still needs attention, but I'm hoping that bending the bottom of the shock mount will actually help. But we'll see. It's still frozen, Greg.
yeah, I know. It looks like I absolutely jizzed my pants.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. That's probably not a bad picture for it to be stuck on. I feel like EG is actually at his end freeze framing my video.
How? I've got so little control over everything at the moment because I'm here in Japan with a laptop. I'm trying to run a stream off the small screen, and everything's sort of overlapping each other. My phone's running as a camera as another person on Skype because I can't get. I brought webcams over. Like I brought multiple webcams over, and they don't work. And the laptop has a webcam in it and doesn't work.
So instead of that, you just made my picture freeze.
It was working before, but this is difficult for you anyway. And also, we need this sort of thing to happen so people can make memes out of it.
That is true. This will either be like I'm mid sneeze or I'm mid jizz.
Hey, you're back.
Either one.
You're gone again.
Did I get stuck in a better position? Have my eyes open this
I think
time?
that's subjective. Oh no, you're kind of moving. Your eyes are open though.
I'm getting messages from people being like, "You've been stuck like this for 5 minutes," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm well aware because fuck, look at my double chin, you fat fuck." I'm gonna sit like this.
Yeah, I can't even check the comments because I don't have my phone is the webcam.
No, there's no comments.
Oh really?
No,
So,
yeah, it's all good.
I have to.
There's enough people. There's enough people who got it.
Okay, well, I need to find the other phone. Maybe I can actually.
So, do you have any more updates on what the Aussies are getting up to over G1 GP prep and Matsuri prep?
G1 GP. Not really. I've probably pretty much been stuck in a air-conditioned car or underneath my car trying to fix it.
So talking to you is pretty much useless when it comes to the Japan trip. That'll have to be next week.
Yeah, next week I should be back to normal. Hopefully. So a lot. No, not many people have turned up quite yet. I think there's 18 entrants so far. I'm not sure. So Japan normally run a top 16 only, not a top 32. And
That's because there's only 16 good drivers in Japan.
I think it's more a time restriction. That's why. So, and so Kev's turned up from Melbourne. I think he's looking to win this round, but no. Oh, there's also one of the PV mechanics, so the power vehicles mechanics, Fasto. He's bringing out his comp car to G1.
That's almost as bullshit as Connor driving his bloody front-wheel drive Peliot in that
The
competition.
race car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a race car. So
And the fact that he's basically a local too.
yeah, it's a bit. It's a fun competition, so it's not. No one really questions it too much. And then you can still beat the local guys if you consider it that way, because there was Daigo Saito's mechanic, Mike Nakamura, I think it was. So I knocked him out last year, and he's a local, I guess you'd say, and he was running Daigo's used tires, which were really, really good tires. They had incredible amounts of grip. But yeah, so you can still knock them out. It's a little bit like DCA, where it's more about skill than having a comp car. It just makes it easier, I guess, if you have a comp car. But
Yeah, I guess you've
yeah,
still got to chase. At the end of the day, no matter how fast you are in the lead, you've
yeah,
got to be able to slow the car down to do whatever the other car's doing in the chase, I guess.
that's right. And also last year, Jake knocked out Josh Robertson in his comp car. His Formula D, I think it's Formula D Japan car, the JZX 100.
Was that really built for FD Japan though? That was like early FD Japan, not like current FD Japan.
Yeah, I think so. It was a few years ago, and then
Yeah,
they had
I
lots
don't
of
think
issues.
that wouldn't have been much more than a D1 street legal spec car, I would say. Other than the fact it's probably
Yeah,
stripped out, but it wouldn't
yeah,
be like retarded like some of the cars are now.
yeah. No, no. Yeah, you're right. Probably, it's not too bad. I think it's got a bit of power. Has a bit more stripped out than D1 SL, but I've
Yeah, but
never
I
really
still
had a
would.
close look at it actually.
But
Just
you wouldn't put it at to say an Andy Grays or
no,
a bloody Team Magic, whatever the hell Mad Mike's driving and all that sort of
nah.
uh, Matty Hill, all those sort of cars. Not even close to that.
No, it's a different caliber of car. I'm pretty sure.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be interesting. Is Connor driving?
G1. Yeah.
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 So
So
just get him to T-bone the shit out of that car.
yeah, maybe he will. I'm not sure. I think he had issues today with something, but I can't remember why. I know he had to make new handbrake. Um, yeah, that's right. His handbrake seized. I think we've got a guest.
Isn't the handbrake being seized like a good thing? Doesn't he just put the Macca's trays under the back then?
Yeah, yeah, you could, but you kind of need to keep going as well. I think Jake wants in. Hang on a sec.
Or Jake wants in.
Oh, there's a few of them. Coming in?
This is
Well, you don't actually have to be here. You can't fit on the camera anyway.
um.
You got your shoes on?
Oi, live stream dude from Japan.
Yes.
People are saying that you're really quiet compared to me.
Yeah, I know. Because I can't control the microphone, it's on maximum. So, did you fit everyone on the bed? So there was this challenge. They're gonna try and get everyone on the bed here, but I reckon they're gonna break it. Oh, you got your shoes on the bed. Take your shoes off. They're not even gonna see. So if you can't see, they're trying to get everyone on the without breaking the bed.
Can you? Holy shit, that's a lot of people. Are you able to turn my mic down so that everybody can turn their volume up?
Oh, I can. Hang on a sec.
See if that helps. A couple of people messaging me. Send me a message if this helps.
Hang on. You're gonna see OBS. So turn to if you chat Greg, it's this one. So just have a yarn about something.
Yeah.
How does that sound? Is that better?
Oh, jeez. We'll wait and see what people said.
Okay. Have you guys got the stream on? What's the volume like?
Well, there's our 10 viewers. They're all in there.
I think so. I don't know if this will actually work. Nah. So this webcam would have been good. If I got this one working, it would have been really wide. But it doesn't work, even though I've used it for DCA and things. Yeah.
I just wish I would move. I'm still stuck with my buddy trying to avoid my double chin.
I can't even find a good spot. All right.
All right, everybody said that's better.
That's better?
Yeah.
Okay. How's that? You gotta turn that off, otherwise. No, it's not that. It's. Oh no, it won't echo. Yeah, it'll get feedback eventually. All right. Yeah, he's always like that though. I know. Did you? Yeah. All right. Okay, so where are we up to?
Connor's gonna T-bone that guy with the comp car, and his handbrake seized.
Do you want me to see if I can actually get the audio? No, I'm not. I don't even try.
Everybody said it's better.
Okay. No, I mean like, or the audio from the room. Because these guys can't hear.
Oh,
Can you? No.
Oh, because I can't hear me. They don't want to listen to me anyway.
I don't even know how. Maybe I can do this. It's gonna look weird on the stream because everything is on top of everything else. I always get a haircut this time of year, Jake.
She's one a year.
Okay. All right. Say something, Greg.
You want me to talk?
No, it didn't work.
That's all right.
How about now?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Hello.
No, it's just gonna mess with the. Yeah, it's with OBS. We'll just mess around with it. So you guys are just not gonna be able to hear it.
Yeah. Oh.
They're all gonna leave
Alright,
soon anyway.
So no, I don't think Jake and Connor would. No. No. What? So what issues are you having, Connor?
Issues. Bent gearbox, selector fork. My clutch is slipping and the handbrake doesn't work.
Okay, so you probably didn't hear that, but he's got a bent shifter fork,
Clutch slips.
the clutch slips,
And
and
the handbrake doesn't work.
the handbrake doesn't work. I think it was seized before. So how many of you guys are actually into G1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so 6 people in my room entered for G1. And I think all 6 are ready to go.
My car started.
So all the cars are kind of running at the moment, but they might be dead tomorrow.
Why aren't you driving, EG?
Me? because I haven't even
Yeah.
driven my car yet.
Yeah, that's all right.
So
Yeah, you don't need practice.
me,
Yeah.
no, it's more I'm scared of dying or hurting myself.
Yeah, but if Logan can win a round of DCA, then you could easily win G1 without any practice.
No, I think no. The issue is the car's untested, so the suspension had a lot of problems last time. No, I could only drive around safely on slow speed.
Yeah, but that's all DCA drives is slow speed, right? So you should be all right.
No, this is a pretty fast course. It's one
Is
where
it
you can
the
actually roll.
same one as last year?
Yeah, same as last year.
That's not the one they ran for FD, was it? You come over the hill, right?
No, same as FD.
Ah, okay. Logan got upset because he knew I knew he was listening. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that would be part of the news, which I probably should cover, but I haven't.
oh, I figured while we're on Japan, we'd stick with Japan until we'd run out of Japan.
Oh, I figured you'd come back to Japan. That's all.
All right, we can come back to Japan. DCA on the weekend.
I think these
saw
guys need
little.
speakers. I just got no idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, if I mess around with the audio settings, then I'm pretty sure they'll not be able to. And they'll mess around with the stream. So
Your microphone doesn't sort of get rid of the sound of stuff that it's picking up from the background.
it doesn't.
No, does it or not? Because mine would probably get rid of it, but yours probably doesn't then.
Mine. I don't know. No idea. It's more. They've got no idea what we're talking about. So I'm just sitting
No,
there
I know.
talking, and they just don't hear anything.
So I could be like, Jake looks fat in that shirt, and he's got no idea.
No idea what stuff he's saying. What
Yeah,
stuff
that's
you're saying.
perfect. All right, so DCA from the weekend. New South Wales 1-3. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And then two NA cars, first and second, and then a fairly well built RB25 Skyline with 33 Skyline with a dog box behind it in third. So, and then I think another fairly built car in fourth, right? It was Nathan
Yeah.
in fourth.
Nathan was in fourth, but I never actually looked that close at his car.
I
Before.
don't think it's shy on power, and he had a PPG gear set in it that's for sale because he's going to a sequential. So,
Okay.
so it's some pretty serious gear.
Is that in preparation for World Time Attack?
Must be. I totally forgot that he scored the spot to that. So, how did it sort of play out? Did you decide on that layout, or was that decided by Luke?
No, so Luke decided the course, like he normally does. So he sets the start and finish line as well as the corners involved, and then we set the criteria, so like the clips, and then what we want to see, and how we want the cars to move and react.
And what did you think of that layout? I thought it was actually, from what the video I saw, it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it was interesting. The only sort of thing was it's funny doing the Be Healthy
fast lap.
section.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everything else is pretty cool, but just having to do that section twice was it was good, but it was Oh, you guys haven't eaten. All right. Okay. All right. These guys are trying to get out.
Hi, children.
Huh?
I got it in my bag.
All right, they're gone. I think they got bored.
That's fair.
Far out. Sorry. Okay, so back to it.
I have way too many things going. So yeah, where did you guys start judging from? Was it from the entry into the hairpin?
Okay, so the course was, so what we did was we divided the course up into 6 sections. And so where judging began for the lead car was at the halfway through the sweeper, I guess you'd say. So near where the entry gates are.
In front of
If
the
you,
pits?
yeah,
Yeah.
if you know Archie, it's a kind of it's
The
yeah, we'll just
tightening
say
after the sweeper.
yeah. So just near the gates, just maybe a bit to the airport side of it. That's where judging started, and then they had to go through the Bihoku section. So that's where they sort of moved to the left, and then into the hairpin at the end. They'd come through, and then they'd take the outside course, I guess you'd say. So not near the Nico drop, and they'd go around back to the sweeper, do another lap around through to the Bihoku section, and then that after that hairpin, they'll go through to the Nico drop, and then do another a hairpin after that. So they'd come back, go in the opposite direction, if that makes sense. And so we split that up in 6 sections. So the first section was the sweeper, and the second section was the I just keep okay the Bihoku and area and the hairpin, and then there was the I don't know what you'd call it. The next section, section 3, was the switchback, and then
The
section
fast layout.
4, yeah, was for the sweeper again. 5 was back on the Bihoku area and the hairpin, and then 6 was from after the hairpin through the Nico drop and then the hairpin there.
And
Yep.
and do you think it was? I know normally you prefer a short layout. How did you go with such a long layout?
Yeah, it was interesting. I was kind of worried that some people might actually separate, but because of the skill of everyone, or the high level of skill that was there, uh, they were actually pretty tight. And the slowdown spots, so having the hairpins and bits where they would slow down will actually sort of compress them and give time for the chase car to catch up, I guess you'd say. So
Yeah.
they didn't really get a chance to run away, if that makes sense.
Add-on entry, was it similar to last year where it was just the lead car was expected to skid that first section into the hairpin,
That's right.
or
Yeah, so they didn't have to. So the lead car had to skid from the start line I described before, so just near where the gates
yeah,
are. Um, and
the
it
whole
wasn't,
track?
yeah, it wasn't really like a huge skid. They just have to sort of initiate, if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
it wasn't like
yeah.
a huge sort of angle sort of movement. It was need to sort of start to have the car stepping out so you can predict as a chase car when the lead car is going to initiate. And so the chase car did not have to skid until the Bihoku area.
Yep, and then on the second lap down through that section, was the chase car allowed to straighten up more than the lead car to get a dive in on the hairpin for the second time?
The chase car?
Yep. On
Uh,
the second lap through.
no, it was both equal. So the chase and the lead car were. It's not like straightened, but because I think people are going to take it too literally. It
Yeah.
was more if you can, so we would
Use it to dive.
yeah, we would forgive a lack of angle if there was more angle because you've had less angle. So where you'd actually get big angle would be at the hairpin at the end, and so if you sacrificed angle to get more speed coming out of the sweeper, then that's fine as long as you had big angle going into the hairpin. If you did not, if you sacrificed angle, or you kind of, it was kind of, you didn't actually gain angle. If you didn't have big angle near the hairpin, then it didn't really, um, it worked against you for having low angle out of the sweeper. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I get you. But yeah, sort of you're allowed to use it to dive as long as you're using it to commit to diving.
Yeah, but that's same with the lead and chase. Didn't really matter. So
Okay.
if the lead car backed off an angle and then the chase car, you can back off an angle fine. So um, it's not. It would be more impressive if you could have more angle behind a lead car that's sort of fairly straight, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, like basically if the lead car's doing a shit line, chuck a backy in behind him and make the
Yeah.
corner and you'll basically rape the crap out of the lead guy.
That's right.
And is that what Dylan was lacking?
Dylan, no. So most of those guys.
I'm
up
trying
on
to get
the-
a reaction, mate.
Yeah, okay. So with that, I saw his message and I haven't responded to it yet. Just because I kind of want to sit down. Because initially I was just like, when I saw his message, like, is he asking me because he hasn't thought about it, or is he asking me about my opinion? But I was just about to get on the plane, so I was going to write something, and I thought, no, I won't bother. I'll write it when I get back to Australia. Um, so
No, he's trying to stir you up in our group chat too.
yeah. So his fault was pretty obvious at the end. His power steering broke. And
Yeah, I saw,
he understeered
yeah,
his
I saw,
friend. Yeah.
I saw that. But yeah,
It's a mechanical failure which sucks, but that's the thing that happens. We were discussing things before the event about what do we do with mechanical failures, because we don't want someone to sort of win by having someone break their car, if that makes sense. So, but then it's not fair if someone brings a like a car that's not prepared, and then they go, "Oh no, my car's broken. Give me another go," kind of thing. So it's really hard to sort of be fair. And so what we said was we'll leave it up to the drivers. If they approach us and saying, "Hey, we want to run it again," and they're both happy with it, then we would do that. But they would have to approach us independently, and we didn't want to advertise it either, because it's not. We want the right. So we don't want someone to go through because they plan to have their car break or something. Not planned, but we don't want to give them an option for being underprepared.
yeah, or if they've like dropped way back, and being like, oh yeah, I dropped back because my car started misfiring or my clutch started slipping or something like that, and it's actually total bullshit.
Yeah, or they like run stupid low pressures and they kept debeating all day, and they're like, "Oh shit, I debeated again. Give me another go." And then it's like,
Yeah,
no, you've
I
been
still think
debeating all day, so you should be running high pressures.
I think yeah, but that's why when we even did this, I did the super drift regs. Like to me, debeating should just it's game over. If you're having to drop your pressures that low, then you've either got shit rims, shit tires, or yeah, just a shitty setup in general. So
Yeah, it's difficult because
don't go there.
yeah, some people want to have a battle and actually want to win rather than win by default. So they'll come up and
Yeah,
they'll say, "Hey, can we actually do this again? Because I'm happy to do it again because I'm pretty sure I'll kick his ass again, regardless." And that's cool. Like I like when I hear that. And then if they're the ones that initiate, so the person that kind of wins by default, if they sort of initiate that, then that's interesting. If they have the ability, then that's cool because they'll if they're gonna win, they're gonna win regardless of of whatever.
Yeah.
So if they're a better driver, they're gonna beat them. So that's why I don't really mind. But there are
As long as it doesn't make it drag on either, though. Like,
yeah
if somebody's going to take a while to fix their car, like the mechanicals, yeah, I guess it gets hard. But it's funny the mechanicals would have been tough, and I look at somebody like Dylan who got stuck in a whole bunch of reruns from the little bits of live stream that I managed to see from overseas, and
Yeah.
he sort of had the most highly strung. I feel the most highly strung out of the top 4 guys. So his car was always going to be the one that was going to start to get itself in trouble with the amount of reruns you were forcing on these guys, where the 31 and the Dado were going to do okay. I know Logan started to get pretty hot, but then the pretty stock 31 was going to run all day, or you could run it into the ground. It was only going to cost you $500 to buy a new one anyway.
Yeah.
But it's funny because with FD over the weekend, they've run one of the fastest courses they've ever run.
Yep.
And they started to find that a lot of the guys were having huge overheating issues just because they're on throttle for so long. And now it's starting to come back to, even in a series as big as FD, and I sort of look at it for DCA point of view, is at what stage is the power wars now going to stop now that the skill level generally has gone up and people are now going to have to start looking at reliability because of much tighter battles and having to go reruns and having to, to put their car through more to actually get through these events. I know FD originally looked at doing a single corner at the track they went to try and save tires and save cars, but then they ended up running a slightly longer layout. And then I look at a DCA weekend where these guys were running a really long layout, and you guys sent some of the battles, I think, 4 more times or something.
Yeah, no, it was cool. They were so close together. Like, that was one of the highest scoring DCA rounds I've been to.
Yeah, and you're generally like a bit of a dick when it comes to qualifying scores, and I saw a lot of scores up in the 90s and in the high 80s, and that's
Yeah.
I think that's the highest scores I've ever seen sort of come from a competition that you've been judging. So
Yeah.
and you're consistently, yeah, okay, I probably sound ruthless as hell about EG on this, but he's consistently hard on people wanting to push them, and so I can't imagine you really backed off on your judging criteria for that. But the little bits and pieces that I saw, yeah, the driving looked pretty strong, and yeah, it'll just interesting worldwide to see where people sort of go for with cars now. Like, does everybody start to pull it back now that the Daigo Power Wars are over, and go more towards, yeah, just what sort of competition is it, and how many laps am I potentially going to have to do in a row, and how long can I make the car last before my car starts to give up?
Yeah,
So,
possibly. I think it's difficult to say because drifting's like a competition's kind of like a show, so you don't really want to run a crappy battle again. So if they're both shit, then it doesn't really matter. But if they're both
I
good,
understand, yeah, but
yeah.
yeah,
So
I get that, but I mean, like but like even FD's going to more battles, and guys are having to push themselves harder than they have previously because less people are making mistakes. And I think this weekend at DCA was something similar to that, where it didn't sound like there were a huge amount of mistakes, and if there were mistakes, it tended to be both in a run, but fairly minute things that you guys were having to send them again for anyway.
Yeah.
So at what point, yeah, do you start to really focus on making cars last rather than being like, okay, I can pull away from the other car with my power, but that power is costing me, X amount in efficiency, and now it's cooking my car when I've got to do 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah. It's such a yeah. How would I go about it? So I know with IDC they've changed their rules, so they try and avoid reruns.
Yeah, just do
Um,
the one more, the one like the one more run thing.
yeah, so that makes things flow better that way.
It makes the show flow better. I understand that, but from a pure competition point of view, I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah.
But I can understand. It's like doing a T20 cricket. You're trying to pump through the format of it as quickly as possible, and at the end of the day, because of that, you're gonna have unfavorable results that haven't given both cars equal opportunity to shine the way they're supposed to, and it puts more emphasis then back on your qualifying, and even more emphasis back on the boring side of it. I guess. I would say that qualifying is your more boring part of your competition. So yeah, I don't know. I think when you've got the time to burn and it's not sort of in everybody's face with a live stream and all that sort of stuff, that yeah, doing the full battle again is good. And sort of the even your FDs put an issue on only running three battles, like a battle 3 times, and then they're supposed to make a decision. So yeah, it's an interesting one that'll be, I think, be debated for a long time. But I think at the moment it works for DCA because there's the scheduling works and there's plenty of time to do it, and plus most tracks that we go to aren't flogging tires all that badly, so you can sort of keep rotating through them. So yeah. Buddy Dylan's got every chat lighting up. So I guess
Oh, you brought
Dylan
this
brings up
up.
an interest. Yeah. Dylan brings up an interesting point when it comes to sort of back to my point on the reliability stuff. Like, do you want like a stock R31 in a battle, or do you want well presented, cool sounding cars?
Do I want?
Well, like, but yeah,
I
I
want
think that's
in a competition a well-presented car that drives well. So you can't just have a car that drives. I don't know.
yeah, like
That doesn't
of
really
course, like
drift.
that.
Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So you have to
yeah,
have both.
that's a
That's what I
yeah,
want.
that's a given. That's a given. But I think he's talking when you're trying to put on a show. Um,
Yeah, that's
but
what
I
I
guess
mean.
yeah,
You can't. If I had an option of both, if I could only pick one or the other, um, if it was ultimately a cool car or cool driving, then I probably could pick cool driving.
yeah, of course. But
Because if it's just a car, yeah, well, if it's just a cool car, then it's just a show car, isn't it? Just go and
yeah,
park it,
and
and
that's
that's it.
it.
If that's the ultimate response that you're after, but it's not. It shouldn't be like that. It should be cool car, cool driving.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I understand where few people's points are with it. But I guess it's a complete car with, and that's why certain competitions around the world brought in minimum age, like minimum year requirements. I think King of Europe or something like that was like no cars post um, or pre 97 or 98 or something. So pretty
Oh
much anything
yes.
after.
I don't know. I don't
And I can,
agree with that.
but 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 again, like that doesn't necessarily make the car any cooler, because if you took a bog stock, um, like if you put a Series One front on a Series 214, which would then fit into your age limit, and it was a bog stock looking Series One S14 that was in the burgundy color that they come from factory, I can't say a 31 looks any worse than that. Like, it's boring. So you can make any car look race car really just by putting a body kit and some paint on it. Like, the reality is, I guess the 31 that came second would look no different to Lipshinsky's car if you painted it the same and put the same rims on it.
I think, yeah, I guess, but that's still effort. Like having guys build cars is awesome. Like it's good that they build them and they show them off, and it makes it good for drifting. But like my issue is there's too many people building cars and not driving. And then when it comes to competitions, um, they turn up with these crazy $200,000 cars, and all they do is they flop around the track, and that's the that's where if you ask me the question, do you want cool driving or a cool car? Then I'm like, well, I don't want to see a car sort of spin out all the time. I don't want to see a car um, 30, 40 meters apart when they're battling. I don't want to see that. If it means that I see like a slightly plain looking Sylvia, or even like a black Sylvia, because they're all seem to be really dark colors, battling really close next to a fairly, flat painted Corolla, then that's so much cooler than having two cars just doing doughies on opposite ends of the track.
That's true. And the funniest part is like Nick has the guy who came second in the 31 has a
180.
has a 180 that he pulled to pieces. The rims on Luke's 350Z are the rims that were originally on Nick's car, and so his car was cool, but he put an LS in it, then didn't want an LS in it, and did all sorts of other stuff. So the dude does have a cool car that is better than the 31, but the 31's what his boss gave him to drive, I'm pretty sure, and
Yeah, but
that's
yeah,
what he throws around the track.
it's so much easier to promote if. So I can understand like I understand and agree with the view of you need cool cars for an event because you're promoting, when you make this event, you're promoting drifting, and that's yeah, so that's what people, so outsiders are going to see is this is a representation of drifting, and if these cars are buckets of shit, then people aren't going to be impressed, or they might be, but they're not sort of race car-y, and then sponsors are going to not be impressed, and why are we going to sponsor these rust buckets? Like, it doesn't make sense, and it makes it difficult for everyone. So if we could all sort of understand where we actually are, and then suit to that sort of requirements as best as possible. Because I understand there's people don't have money, like they're really tight. Some people do. Some people can get lots of track time. Some people don't. But you kind of need to help the community out in um, putting an effort into having a good car, a well presented car, and also having skill if you're going to into a competition. And then so that makes it easier for yourself to get sponsorship, the event to get backing, and for other people to get involved because they're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I guess the scary part is people tend to follow trends, right? So when the Daigo effect happened in FD, everybody started doing a crap load of power. When the high tech effect took hold in Sydney, everybody went crazy with power. The protein bar liveries, all that sort of stuff. Do you think people are worried about, I guess, DCA it's had the stigma and worked hard to get rid of the stigma of being the missile series, but does something like a 31 ending up on the podium start to make people go, well, maybe I should just show up with a $1,000 car instead of bothering to do the race car thing? But that sort of falls directly back into your point of, if people expect to get more out of their package by being able to sell themselves or sell the event, you've got to put in a little bit more than that. So it's sort of a vicious cycle of where you personally want to take it, and I think that's what will keep it in check.
So yeah, ultimately this discussion came from some comments made by Dylan, who came third. So with regards to that, the reason why he lost that battle, because he was actually going to win it, was because his power steering broke. And that was it. So up until that point, it was the final hairpin. He had to stop drifting, like he just had no power steering. So ultimately, it would have been a battle between Dylan and Logan. So that would be a non-turbo car versus a high horsepower car, I guess. Turbo
But
car.
both Nissan powered Nissans.
Yeah,
Or-
and they're both, I would say both are well presented. But then,
Yeah.
and so, I mean, I just don't, I can understand his point, but, this guy that came second, so his name was Nick, I can't remember his last name. It's like Oldman or something, Oldman. I'm not sure. Um, his driving was really good. His car was pretty shit because I remember it kept debeating and stuff, but his driving was excellent. He did everything that we asked for in our criteria. So in the slow sections, so where we had to get big angle, he got big angle. It slowed him down a lot, but he kept going through with it. And that, what happened was it actually made it a really good and easy battle to judge, or not to judge, but like to made it a good battle, so you could actually see these two cars battling rather than having them separated. So that's why he did the right thing, and he did sacrifice angle for speed, and that was okay. But he still had um, angle. He did actually straighten up on some points, and he was deducted for those. But if he was really, yeah, he really wasn't going anywhere when he was going straight anyway. So he wasn't getting any advantage out of it, and you can tell that he was trying to uh, keep the car actually in sort of drift. If that makes sense. And most of the time, he did do it. Anytime you would have, yeah, if you um, if you look back at the battle results, I guess you'd call it, at those times where he did have straightens, and there would have been a rerun. Um, so it's not like we favored a low power car or a non-turbo car.
Yeah, and I think that's, and I think even Dylan acknowledges that. So I think that's where people who haven't actually watched it will potentially misconstrue what this debate's about and what what the event was like. Was it just happened to sort of fall that direction? It wasn't because there was any sort of favor put on that. And yeah, the reality is you go and
There,
put
yeah, you ask another person, and they'll say, all we do is we favor high horsepower cars, and they'll mention
yeah
it to someone, and then they'll spread, and they'll be like, that's it. It's like, and all this other shit. It's
yeah,
pretty
but
much you
that's
lost, and then that's it. There's a reason why. If you want to know why, then we'll give you the reason, and that's it. So, it's just, yeah. Anyway,
well, if you have Weisfab, you automatically win. Yeah,
Wise
it's
Fab
all
looks
that.
disgusting. Far out. Just having the wheel like vertical all the time with like 100% contact patch, it'll look strange. Like, I know some people have adjusted their Wise Fab and it looks so much better, but when they've got their Wise Fab set up in a way where it looks like a shopping trolley. It looks so um boring.
Um, yeah, but my tires don't get flogged out on the edges, mate.
Yeah, I know. But it really looks like, how when you turn the shopping trolley and then
Yeah,
the
and everything
caster
just
wheels are
follows.
still straight. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Um, were you talking about because you're watching the guy with the Supra?
The Super, yeah, he had Wisefab as well as the
Yeah.
33, I think. One of them didn't look
Which
as Wisefab as
which
the other.
which
Is
33?
it
Whose car
33
is
or
that?
it's a 33? I think it's a V8 33, and there was a S13 as well as Wisefab, I think. I think it
Yeah.
was. Unless I've got, because those two cars were kind of similar styling, if that makes sense. So yeah. Hello?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, sorry, I'm half reading another conversation.
Yeah, I
Um,
keep seeing it pop up actually. I've been
yeah.
ignoring it for the time being. I'm guessing that I've upset
Oh,
another person.
Senatani has yeah, and he's 30 in the 33. I think that's a. I don't know if the Wiseweb's a fairly new addition because I've never really noticed it from the videos from um when he was doing the pro rounds of Queensland DCA. So I'm not sure.
Oh, he was good.
Uh,
He was pretty good. It was interesting to see. It probably,
it depends how you got it set up too. If you got
yeah,
that
that's
really
right.
front, if you got it really front grippy, it'll just fall onto lock. So, and that's how I have had it set up previously,
Yeah,
and it just falls onto lock, and the car's not fast anymore at that stage anyway. So you pretty much get walked by everybody.
because one of the things is on the sweeper, you'll see they'll have the wheels on lock, and then they'll just be like on power all the way around the sweeper.
Yeah, it's cool as shit.
Yeah, it looks cool, but then oh look, it's Wisefab, and it's just like, and then
Yeah, but it's not
that's it.
because Wisefabby can make it around the corner. Like you put a shit person in that car, and they're gonna end up in the fence.
Maybe I haven't driven Wisefab. I don't know.
Um,
I really don't like the look of the vertical wheels.
discrimination against wheels.
Oh yeah,
We
I
have a
don't like
viewer
black
question.
wheels.
What happened with Senna and Nathan
Senna.
in the Black 33?
Uh, Hang on a second. Luckily, I have my notes nearby.
Some dude in a pink 33 causing trouble.
I'm gonna get bashed again. Again? No, I'm gonna get threatened again
Uh,
because of these
you're not
cars.
welcome in Newcastle anymore, mate.
No, not welcome in Newcastle or Sydney. Um, One moment, still trying to find.
Somebody hit somebody.
Uh, Senna, Green Hill. Oh, okay. 147 and 2. Oh, that thing.
There's some pushing before the start line or something.
Yeah. So, which part was he talking about? So what, as in the result of the battle?
Well, I think everybody knows the result of the battle, considering Nathan came fourth.
Yeah, I mean, like, why did Nathan get through? Is that why?
Partly plus the fact that there was some stuff before the start line.
Before the start line?
Yeah.
So there was a
Come on,
story
make it
behind
exciting,
that.
mate.
Yeah, I know there was a story behind that. This one, I don't know if I can actually repeat it correctly, because what happened with um what happened with that was on the uh when they swapped positions, and then after they left the line, Nathan Greenhill was hit by Senna, and then apparently initially it was an accident, but then Senna thought Nathan was going too slow, so Senna gave the second time. Senna actually sort of nudged him, because he was kind of going slow, and then Nathan just sort of threw up his arms and let the car go, and then they sort of hit and made contact and ripped the bumper off or something like that, and so they had to go in, and then so that battle was split up between the two.
So what do you call at that sort of stage though? Like, I know you're trying to be somewhat politically correct, but how do you, like, at the end of the day, the call's made by you guys as to how you proceed with that? Like, what do you call in that sort of situation?
Where he was hit.
Yeah.
Well, Senna shouldn't have hit him. That's pretty obvious. Like, why?
Yeah.
I don't understand why that would be a question. Like, you should. In what situation would it be okay to like keep hitting someone?
Yeah, again, I haven't seen it, so I'm not sure exactly what in what context the hitting is. I don't know if it's it was bumping through a corner, like sitting on somebody's door and hitting them, considering that sort of thing's okay. But was it, in your view, was the lead run too slow as the contact was being made?
Was it too slow?
Like, okay, so
he shouldn't have made
say I'm
contact.
chasing.
That's it. It doesn't matter. Like, if it's too
But
slow, he'd get penalized. It's like you're
okay, but
asking what could have happened as to what did happen.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
If they
it's like,
didn't make contact, right? So this is a hypothetical situation.
yeah.
If they didn't make contact, and Nathan, the lead car was going slow, and the chase car had to go slow as well. So they're both sort of exiting slowly, and then
Yeah.
everything else was perfect. Then it'd work against the lead car, obviously, because their pace is slow through the first initiation. Make sense?
Yeah, but just say, but if say somebody had
I think
been
this is
say,
this is a situation where it's very clear cut, and I don't know what you're
no,
trying
no,
to
no,
make up something.
no.
Yeah.
But I think where some people start to get concerned is that if they're stuck in a situation behind a slow car, who they think is potentially playing games, what sort of approach they should take. So say Logan had all day. Logan's just an easy person because I'm mates with him and he managed to win the event. But just say Logan all day, you could hear him. He was pinned off the line. But then when it came to the final, all of a sudden you can hear him off throttle in funny places and playing those sort of games. As a judge, how harshly did he come down on that?
What do you mean? It works against him. The severity of it depends on the section.
I understand
So
that, but
you're
but
there.
that's what common sense is going to say to sensible people. But I'm wanting you to say it, straight black and white. How harshly does it come down on that person in that lead run in that sort of situation?
So it will depend on the situation and the time. If you'll have to be a lot more specific. That's why I'm saying simply, if they've gone into the first corner really slow and everything else is perfect, then of course it'll work against them because the other car's going to be at a faster pace.
Yeah, I'm more talking in a situation where, say, a car with a bigger turbo or something starts to fall off boost and gets left behind because of funny games like that.
Yeah. So what do you mean? It doesn't. That's still the same thing.
Yeah, but you keep saying referring to the lead car as opposed to where it leaves the chase car.
Oh, so the lead car goes off boost unintentionally.
No. Like yeah, I more mean that the lead car plays games and forces the chase car to be stuck way off boost and then straightens up and is sort of done.
Yeah, well, that works against the lead car.
Yeah, but I think again, I'm just trying to get you to say it black and white so that people understand
I've already said that.
where
If they're
where
going
your
to
head's
stall
at.
up, no, I've said that before. I've been saying that it's
You
if
say
the
it
lead
way
car.
too nicely.
I'm not saying it simply because I'm trying to say it generally and simply because otherwise people are going to be way too specific. It really depends on the situation.
Yeah, of course.
You can't sort of generalize that sort of stuff. Otherwise, if you sort of say something, and then they go, oh, but you said this there on at this time at this place, and I'm like, well, yeah, that was a general comment. And then if I don't say it as a general comment, people are taking it too literally.
Yeah. And then somebody said that you guys had to make a call in one of the top 16 battles about an unintentional stall up, sort of entering the sweeper that made a decision. You don't have to say which cars it was, but you guys were making calls on people getting, those sort of situations taking place. So I think if anybody's sort of worried about or seen, the call that was made in the Nathan and the Greenhill Tunny battle, that, there was other battles where cars had dropped off speed in funny places that hadn't been previously and did get pulled up on it.
And they didn't get pulled up on it?
They got pulled up on it.
So what do you mean?
Like you guys called it as that lead car making a mistake.
Yeah, if they didn't have fluidity, yes.
Yeah. So I'm trying to help you out here.
Yeah. So the comp was actually, what people need to understand is this was really
it came down to nitpicking stuff, because
it was such a small thing.
At around Mount Gambier, people were dropping tires and flying off track, not making clips, all that sort of stuff, where this sounded like when you've got the top 12 cars or whatever it is separated by 8 points in qualifying, you're gonna have to nitpick if the battles end up similar to that. So you really are talking minute details, as opposed to Mount Gambier, where somebody, like Tom, comes flying over the hill way too fast in his top 8 battle or whatever and writes his car off into the fence because he's decided to go too hard. Didn't sound like there was too much of that going on.
No, I don't think any one car put it into the wall the whole weekend, I think, or in a really bad way. I think a lot of people touched the wall, but otherwise, the skill was very high. So it came down to what we asked drivers to do in the briefing, and it's just trying to be general to everyone. It's kind of difficult. So people got knocked out for different reasons. Generally, the easy ones are if they spun or something like that, then it's easy. They get knocked out because they lost the drift or something like that. Some of the nitpicky ones are things like going over ripple strips or not getting close enough to clips. And then it came down to the proximity to those things. So if one person was much close to a clip, but then they ran too close to another ripple strip, then we sort of had to cancel those sorts of things out. There's other things about how much angle they had getting into the high angle zones, how quick the transitions were, things like that. They all sort of had affected the score at the end.
Yeah, and I guess the long layout also means that there's so much give and take throughout a battle, right? You're so busy being like, oh, that the lead car did a shitty entry, and then all of a sudden there's an opportunity for the chase car to catch up and they did something shitty, so it's like, oh, that's just balance that out, and then it's balanced back the other way, it's thrown back the other way again. Oh, okay, well, let's, that one's a write-off, it's equal, send them again, sort of thing. would have been a lot of that throughout the event too, I'd imagine, with the long layout.
Yeah, so having 6 sections, and points being deducted off each section, it did actually. You could make up for another section, I guess, or make up, or um, yeah, it's or lose things like that. So it really did affect. Yeah, consistency was the biggest thing, I guess, around the whole thing. So you consistently needed to get the right spots. Um,
Well, because I wasn't there to see it,
yeah.
how many battles were won and lost on the first hairpin? Like, how many battles were thrown away by chase or lead cars on that very first like hairpin, like on the first lap?
How many?
Were there any
I
battles?
can't remember.
Yeah, were there any battles thrown away on the lead lap on that first hairpin?
I can only remember the orange S13, which kept spinning all the time.
Yeah.
That
So
was
that
it.
and but that to me is a testament to the high level of the comp, because often you see that on the first major corner of a drift comp can be a make it or break it for, especially a technical corner like that, a tight hairpin, and the fact that um, there wasn't any battles lost that early in a run is a testament to the level of the driving for me, that you've had to nitpick it right down to um, yeah, you know, you've had to nitpick it the whole way through a battle to try and pick a winner, as opposed to cars spinning or just totally bombing runs right from the beginning, which is cool to know. Um, like, I wasn't there to fuck up those stats, but
Yeah.
what
Well,
did you?
yeah. I don't know.
Sean
It's
Power says you look like you could do with a coffee.
a coffee. I could use with some sleep. I need to sleep.
It's early in Japan, mate. It's only like 7:30.
What's it, 8:30. But
Oh, you're only an hour. You're only an hour behind.
we've had some pretty late nights just trying to find food for 15 people, 14 people. So trying to find
Just let the
places
white
that
people starve.
no, it's just trying to find areas that would accept such a large group and actually service all at once. So
Yeah. So what did you? So overall, one of the better DCA rounds that you've judged.
better rounds, as in terms of driver performance.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, as a percentage, yeah, high
Yeah.
level, yeah, it's very good. There's still good drivers and good events in other rounds, but this had more like the as a percentage, the driver level was very high.
And do you think that's a trend that will continue?
I hope so. Yeah, I'd like to see all these guys um, keep entering comps because yeah, they were really hard to pick.
Make your life harder, but
Yeah,
a little bit
no,
more exciting.
it's so much better because they were like they were close together. They sorry, um, they were yeah. It's so much more exciting to watch because like even as when you're judging, you do get excited when people win, lose, or they make mistakes and things like that. You're like, oh no, like it's he's doing such a good run, and it's really fun to watch and be a part of.
Sean Powers asks, who was your favorite drive of the day that didn't make top four?
Hmm, didn't make top four. I really was hoping that Chopper would do well this time.
But
So
was he driving well before his car broke?
yeah, he's cool. I like his sort of really super aggressive attitude in driving.
hopefully he gets a box in that car for this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't be there though.
Other judge Steve Pembry has said Chopper and Troy for him as the guys who drives of the day that didn't make the top 4.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like there were a few standouts for different reasons. Yeah, the one that I was kind of eager to see because he had all those issues at Tasmania was Chopper, so he was really cool.
Too much grip, breaking boxes.
Yeah, it's all mechanical. It just sort of fails him. His car seemed so good at Mount Gambier, and then the car's been letting him down.
His cars are used to the street, but not used to the racetrack.
What are you doing? Inspections.
I think he's a bit of an inspector, but now that he's moved to Queensland, he's probably less of an inspector.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, I have to blow my nose. Hang on a second.
You dirty little boy.
Hey,
Oh yeah, GK
I
Tech
feel
Nuck
better.
was bent all over the place before the box went.
All right.
His
See.
rear
Wow,
knuckles.
this chat's
Fair
gone
enough.
crazy.
Yeah, I just got that too. So I guess the end results for the day was Logan Waterhouse in his Datto 120Y with the KA24 piece of shit from Western Sydney came first. And then Nick in the Zell Garage 31 came second, and Dylan Roberts, who we had on like episode 3 or 4,
Yeah.
one of the judges from the Rally Drift series, one of the Marvel drifters in his pink 33 four-door came third for the round, and then the series was won by Dale Campaign in the GH Haulage 1 for the second year running. And then Matt Harvey in second in the Kumo tyres, red, I think performance wheels or something from Tassie in second. And then Nathan Greenhill managed to jump over a couple of dudes to jump up into third place.
Yeah, with his fourth place result.
Yeah, within the NG electrical 32 Skyline. So I think Dale's car and Matt's car pretty much comply for World Time Attack Challenge, I would imagine, because the guys who came top 3 in the series have won drives at that. But I think from what I have been told that Nathan needs to do a full cage, a full proved cage before World Time Attack, which is going to be a hell of a push. Hopefully he's got somebody down there who can get that done, and then he's wanting to do a whole bunch of other bits and pieces to try and up the power and stuff. But considering what Luke did last year in a pretty, I guess mild car compared to what everybody else is in, it just comes down to driver's skill. And if Nathan does the sequential box that he wants to do, that might even be enough without all the power. Just pick the right gear and keep your foot planted and just go for it. And then, somebody's commented that it's interesting that none of the top 3 in the series managed to finish top 3 in the championship.
Yeah, I know.
But a few of those guys went against each other or went against good drivers early, I think, right?
Oh, yeah, there was like a big... who was it? It was between...
Hemmings and Dale.
Yeah, and... who was the other one?
That was 1 and 2 in the championship. Straight off the bat, having to verse each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that was...
So that was going to...
Unfortunate. There. Yeah, then Nathan battled Dale.
Okay, and was that in the top... That was top 8, I'm guessing?
Top 8, yeah.
Okay. So... And then who knocked Matt Harvey out, or did Matt Harvey knock Matt Harvey out?
It's Dylan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it's favoritism.
Favoritism. For
Yeah,
Dylan.
for Dylan. Because
Maybe it was. Maybe it was. I
Oh,
can't
no,
remember what
you-
happened.
you intentionally set him up so that. Oh, somebody said that the front subframe was off the car after the battle.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
Off
off Matt's car.
Logan's car.
Oh.
Logan had a few issues. I think he's got oil pressure issues after the event, so he had to go back home. So he's coming back up for another event. I'm not sure if he's coming.
I think he's on his way back up now. Yeah, he's come up for Cash Kings.
Yeah.
Sean said Harvey got the wall, knocked himself off. Need Sean on instead of you, mate. You're fucking useless.
Oh man, I've been sick and it's too fast past the event. And I've got all this Japan stuff as well.
He's been living the life in first class on his trip to Japan, so he just doesn't care.
Oh yeah. Matt hit the wall.
DCA is just a bunch of plebs to EG.
And then the rerun, Matt and Dylan were pretty equal, but yeah, the wall hit was put it against Matt actually. So yeah, that was it. Just really simple. Wasn't that bad of a hit too.
Bloody Matt doing mats and taking himself out.
Yeah, it probably would have been a rerun anyway.
Just add it to the list. Any other honourable mentions from the weekend?
Yeah, so there's a few. There was a lot of standouts. Like, sorry. So there was. Do you remember Nicholas Craig Feely from round
Yep.
1? Yeah, he came
In
down.
the 33 four-door, it's a blue one.
So he was. I think he's actually an Archie local, and so he was
Yeah,
really
he's
cool.
a local.
He did really well in battles as well. So he made it all the way to. Where did he make it up to?
He was top 8 against Logan, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he was. He got knocked out by Logan, but yeah, he did really well because he was actually in one of the, I think in the bottom 6. So he did a few more battles. Ben Mears
I think from
also-
what I've been told when I went to rally, he's a pretty average dude when it comes to qualifying and then kills in the battles.
Yeah, he didn't do well in qualifying. He was in practice. He was looking really good, so he just messed up his qualifying. That's what put him down there. I'm pretty sure he made a mistake because most people scored really high.
Yeah.
Ben Mears was also really cool. I thought he's gonna do well on the weekend, but being knocked out by the first place getter makes it pretty difficult. So
That was a 1 rerun or 2 reruns?
he had a few reruns. I'll have to look back. I'll look.
Yeah, but I remember it being a couple of reruns because I
Yeah.
was in communication with the idiot and the Dado. And then who else did you have down as? I think at this stage you're gonna almost list the whole field other than
Yeah,
a
pretty
few.
much. So Troy, our previous guest, #1 qualifier, who's really, really good with qualifying. That's some really cool runs, but I think he needs to do something with his front suspension setup. It's a little bit funny, like you see the wheel sort of wobbling around on full lock.
Needs better bump stops.
Yeah, Lucy was also really cool. She's like has some of Chopper's style, which I like. So that's awesome.
I think she's going to be a scary one once they've spent more time at Archie and she gets really comfortable there because I think she's driving there a lot at the moment. So
Yeah,
she's
you can
probably
tell.
not somebody a non-local is going to want to come up against probably in a year's time from driving there. I know she'd probably kick the crap out of me. So
I think she needs to do more sort of battles or like tandems with other people because she's way more comfortable um
with Chopper, and then
yeah, and like even with some of the other guys went down in Tasmania, and then she seems to get a bit uneasy when it comes to someone else, but she doesn't need to. Like she can um she should be able
yeah, I
to
don't think
handle
that's a lack of yeah, but that's probably not a lack of trust to her. It's probably a lack of trust to the people around her.
it. No, she can do better, I'm sure. Let's see. Oh yeah, David Stankowski was back in his AU. It's always fun to watch.
A different AU. I think that was a different AU.
I don't know. It's the same color, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think he just buys them the same color so he can trade parts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, and then let's see. Who's this person? Tom Hemmings and Dale's battle was really awesome. Like that was such a close battle. So close. Like it was. That should have been like. It's really hard because most of these should have been like finals. So yeah, I don't know how you actually run it. Oh yeah, it was really good. I can't remember. One of the Wisefab guys was really impressive as well. So I can't remember which one, but one of them looked less Wisefabby, and that one looked way better. So they were actually throwing it into the corners, and they're getting so much angle.
The guy in the Supra, I think he's had that car probably just over a year or something since it went through all its rebuild, and he's driven as much as possible from what I've seen, and seems to improve more and more every time I go back up to Queensland.
Yeah,
So I would
thank
imagine
you.
he probably is starting to look fairly comfortable.
Because I remember saying, or thinking actually, I was like, wow, that looks really cool for Wisefab.
Yeah, I would imagine if it's the Super, it's probably got a little bit of Luke's influence on it, trying to make it less Wisefab because he abuses everybody who has Wisefab cars for having cars that are too Wisefabby.
Yeah, because I remember seeing Luke drive Wisefab, and it's different. His setup, or the way
Yeah,
he drives, it's differently to everyone else's. Because a lot of people seem to like let the car do the work, and then when Luke gets in, he like he makes the car do what he wants.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's a lot more cooler.
Um, been asked if we have any idea of Mount Gambier dates. Uh, as far as I've been told, I think is going to be sometime similar to what we had this year. Um, but I will get on the Fink's ass when I'm up at Cash Kings on the weekend and try and push him to get a little bit more information out to try and get people amped up, because I know that there's potentially some stuff in the works, and the season may start in November this year. So if that happens, yeah, I want him to try and push some people to get their ass into gear so people are actually pumped up and ready to actually compete this year and not wait until Mount Gambier or something like that next year as their first round. So yeah, that's the deal with Mount Gambier at this stage and next season. So we'll see. I'm pretty sure at this stage next season is, you know, what's locked in will be Mount Gambier, Archie, and Simmons Plains, I'm pretty sure, and there might be some stuff in the works to be added to that. But I will, yeah, wait for some more word from the boss man to get some stuff confirmed on that. So, yeah. Anything else on DCA that you want to mention, EG?
I had a lot of things that I thought about I wanted to mention, but I'm way too tired. I'm too sick to go on about it.
No, that's fair.
I really want to like. I feel like I need to have 10 minute sort of explanations of some of the thoughts I have. So
Write them down because I'm sure there'll be more generalized points. So
yeah, I try and make it general, but it's more like Because if I refer to a specific situation, then people will say you said this in this sort of case. But no, they sort of
If it
it comes to thought from no, it comes to mind from that occasion.
incidents,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it
it's
has
not
to.
really. It'll be more a thought. Yeah, it's a thought because of it, not that's my thoughts about it.
Yeah. Um, and look, at the end of the day, if it's an educational thing, I don't think people should be too upset by it. But yeah, don't be afraid to say too much, but sort of collect those thoughts, and we'll have a debate on that stuff at a later date. Well, let's leave DCA from the weekend for now. Cash Kings is this weekend. Kengushi's in town. I'm taking the camera gear up, so maybe I'll try and grab him,
It's some
and potentially try and grab
autographs.
him. Yeah, get my nips signed, and maybe try and grab him for a post-event interview,
Okay.
just to see what he thinks of the whole thing. And yeah, Cash King should be sick. I'm pretty sure at this stage um, there's still some
Spots
entries
available.
available.
Yeah, there's still spots
Um,
available.
Interesting that Luke made reference to Mick Rosenblatt entering off his little live stream that he did the other day. So that is an interesting choice, considering there is another event just on down the road that I thought a big semi-slick car would potentially go to. But I think Mick wants to probably try and win some money and just have some fun rather than stressing about a comp that he's not involved in the whole series, so it doesn't really mean that much to him. So a one-off is probably a better bet for him. Yeah, I think somebody said bring it to tail and bends, like do a tail and bends round. I think anything at this stage is possible. I think waiting for Drifting SA to sort of work out what's happening down there. Michael hit me up during the week and let me know that Drifting SA has managed to secure a drift demo spot at the V8 Supercars round down there on the 25th and 26th of August. They've got one 10-minute demo on Saturday and one 10-minute demo on Sunday on the main track. 6 cars, basically three pairs of cars going out. And then after that, they will have a chat with the guys who own and manage the track down there to work out some details on there, on what the deal is with the stadium circuit, because it's pretty much done. So yeah, it'll be drivers will be Stewie Bryant and Simon Micklemore together, Christian Pickering and Dan Pryor together, Scott Miller and Phil Branson will be Saturday. That it'll be good to see Scott out there tearing it up for DCA, and then Alan Siddle and Darren Gunn on Sunday. So Siddle and Gunn, one has a late model Monaro and the other has a FG Falcon Ute, so that should be good for the V8 Supercar fans. And it's just cool that, at a big event like that, they've managed to score some drift demos on the main circuit out there. So hopefully that's a sign of very positive things to come for the South Australian drift scene. So I'm actually, pretty surprised. Oh, Pickering's out and Dale Campaign is now in for that event.
Oh, interesting.
So, and we're gaining a South Australian up in the New South Wales scene soon. I don't know if I'm allowed to say too much, but Solly's making the trip north.
To where?
He's going to be, he might be a Marvel or a Just Go Drift boy soon.
Oh, really? Okay,
So
that's interesting.
he might become Team Red Stage and just drive Wakey days. Maybe you and him can take over the New South Wales drift scene and get some cool shit going again. When it comes to comps, I've just put my foot fully in it. There's some good stuff going on, but yeah, maybe you guys can get a comp going. Fuck, fully put my foot in it, eh?
Yeah, just a little bit. That's right. You'll get bashed as well. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm gonna get bashed. Um, yeah. So that's the news I have. Um, you're so dead. I feel so bad for you. I'm like surprisingly not too. Nah, sorry, mate. You've lost Solly for SA drifting, and he's making the right moves. Jake's gonna move out of Newey, and Solly's gonna move in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's
I'm
gonna move
excited
out.
for Solly to come up here, though.
Really? Just wait till. Have you met him before? Oh, you have. You've met him.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've had a few chats with him.
All right. Okay. Yeah, you can be excited.
He yelled at me for doing burnouts down the back of Mount Gambier last year, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so what's your game plan for the next couple of days, mate?
Try and get my car running. So a lot of people turned up today, or seem to have turned up today. One of the guys, I think that's entered in for G1, his car had issues and they had to secure another car off Andy and Emily. What else? Planned. So hopefully there isn't too much work left for us. There are only two of us left in the sort of pit area that we've got at Ebisu, and so that's Paul doing an engine swap, an S14 motor into an S13. So I think they'll be finished with that, hopefully. Because there's only a few minor things that I needed to do. And I'm not too sure if one of the other guys, Dali's turbo is actually gone. So he's complaining that his turbo is making sort of odd whistling noises. Normally, I would think like the type of noise that he describes would be a blown gasket or something like that. Um, but he says he's not down on power, so that's one of the things that is a bit odd. So usually you'd feel a power loss and that sort of noise occur. But he says not power's the same. He's just sorry, really noisy.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
bit strange.
so G1's on Friday and it's at Nishi course, which is West course at
Yeah,
Ibisu, and then the 2 days after that is Matsuri. So I'll have a lot of Japanese turn up. But I think it's meant to thunderstorm tomorrow and rain a lot because a typhoon I think passed over Japan and now it's turned around and sort of dispersing over Japan, if that makes sense. So
so it just turns into a bit of a storm.
yeah, well, they were saying in the news just before that they were saying there was huge lightning storms and people were taking photos about it, and that was it. And that was just a news thing. I think it was just a local news sort of thing.
Yeah,
So anyway, might be pissing down rain tomorrow, which would suck, but it is summer here, so it's stinking hot, so it's not that bad. Your fingers don't freeze up like in the winter and stuff. So if it rains, then it's just sort of you kind of like sort of soggy, but you can still keep working. Your fingers still moving.
yeah.
uh,
So yeah, hopefully you're back out on track then, and you're still there next week.
yep, all the way up until D1. So I think they'll slowly close tracks off, but I'm hoping that I'll be up and running enough to do a few sort of trains at particular spots. We haven't completely tested the center headsets out yet, um, and but they are fairly limited in range, so um, we can't be on opposite ends of the course. But maybe we're thinking that it might be okay once everyone's out there,
Yeah,
and
and
then they can.
you're relaying each other off each other, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
yeah. Get a product review going for that.
Yeah, well, we're hoping that it was so much easier with the 30K, the center 30K, rather than the SMH10. So we had to do some sort of pairing sort of sequence with the old headsets. With these ones, you just sort of turn on, press a button, and they connect together. So they're it's like 3 buttons you push, and then you're connected.
Yeah. Well, do a bit of a review video, mate. I'm sure Connor will.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
And yeah, we should probably actually let you go and get some sleep so that you can actually enjoy your holiday instead of you sound like shit and you look like you want to die. So, and I've been
That's
stuck
always
at the same spot
yeah,
this
I
whole
know. And the
thing.
reason why one of the reasons that we started late was because I didn't have any video, and so now all you've got is Greg frozen for the last half an hour, or even longer.
Half an hour. It's been like an hour
Oh, has
and
it?
a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So Optus fixed my download speeds. I'm up to 25 megabits, but my upload is like 0.3. That's why my face looks like that.
Uh,
So yeah, next week we'll probably just chat again because you will have done your Japan trip.
I have a
and
feeling the
a little
other
bit more.
guys want to get involved, so maybe we can do
And
a
try and do more of a group chat thing.
yeah. I
'Cause
don't know where we could
'cause
do
I
it.
will have I will have been out at Cash Kings, and I'm gonna take the camera and stuff up there and try and get some footage and get a video going for up there.
So maybe we can
Uh,
do it a bit earlier. So during our pack up time, we might be able to do like a little. Actually, no, we can't broadcast it, can we? No.
You can try. I'm working but you can always go live on your own.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see what happens. We'll
Yeah,
figure
see
it
what
out.
happens. Just make sure you click subscribe and turn on your notifications so that if EG goes live, you guys can watch.
It'll be up there. Don't worry. Just watch
Yeah.
it. Just watch it live, or at least later.
Yeah, at least watch it later.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Short
we should let you
episode.
go. It's not too short. It's still over an hour and a half.
Okay.
This is supposed to be a long one, mate. We had lots to talk about. Somebody's sick and tired.
Yeah. Yeah, it's early too. It's like, what is it?
But
Only 9.
hey, at the end of the day, we are the first Australian Driftcast podcast, whatever you want to call it, to broadcast live from the motherland.
That's right. First. How is that other
The
cast
first.
going?
I don't know. And we're also the first to have 2 jet-lagged people on a cast at the same time. I just got back and you just got there.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got back this morning, didn't you?
8 o'clock last night, so
Oh,
being
okay.
back 26 hours.
All right.
So, yeah. All right. Well, good night, guys.
All right. Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you for listening to our. And yeah, look, we'll press EG hard on more DCA issues once he's collected his thoughts.
No, I'm good. I just
Don't start again.
my thoughts are
Don't
set
start again. We know you're stubborn. Fuck.
until I decide to change them. That's my decision.
Oh, too funny.
I'm gonna get back
All right.
as soon as I get back. I think at the airport. I won't
That's
tell you
all right.
guys which airport I'm landing at.
It's either Sydney or Canberra. You might sneak into Newcastle,
No.
take a shit on your lawn, and leave.
No. No, I'm not going to New South Wales. I'm gonna get murdered there.
Maybe you'll move to South Australia and replace Solly down there.
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Let him go.
All right. See you guys. Right, you have to wait till I do this.
But they can't tell what I'm doing. I could have my middle fingers up and they can't see me.
Oh, that says the wrong thing. Oh well.
Please stand